We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and hosts of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Welcome, coming to you live from the studios of LA Talk Live in sunny Los Angeles, California. This is Alayna's Lifestyles and More, and I'm your host, Alayna. We're here to talk about, well, today we are going to talk a little bit about beauty, fashion, relationships, some spirituality always pops in, and more, every Wednesday at noon Pacific time. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Alayna's Lifestyles and More on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
Once in a lullaby, somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Hi, I'm Dell Lady Jones, and I'm a certified relationship and divorce coach.
And I'm Debbie Carlin Boyle, a certified personal trainer, fitness instructor, and health coach.
Join us on Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Pacific, for Dell and Debbie's Mind, Body, Soul, and everything in between, exclusively on LA Talk Live.
Become part of the conversation with expert guests discussing life-changing topics such as relationships, divorce, longevity, parenting challenges, dating, intimacy, and so much more.
We would love to hear your opinions and questions, either on our Facebook page or by calling us directly at 323-473-3100. We are Dell and Debbie's Mind, Body, Soul, and everything in between. Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Pacific on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, and now live on Facebook, or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. And now on our YouTube channel, Dell and Debbie Mind, Body, Soul. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where...
Welcome back to Alayna's Lifestyles and More. This is going to be a really fun show. I have sitting next to me Merle M. Singer, the relationship miracle worker. But she is going to be talking about her new book. So that's very exciting. Many years ago, I don't know how many years ago, you debuted your first book on my show.
That's right.
In February. That's
right.
Valentine's book.
That's right. That's right.
So every time you come on the show, it's because you finished a new book. So this is the second one. Very exciting. That's the new cover that you can see right in front of her. So that's very exciting. And this is also the most exciting. This Saturday is going to be her 50th wedding anniversary. So congratulations to you and Nathan. Very exciting.
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
Trust me, it's a big deal.
All right, I'm going to introduce Bobbie before we just start chatting. Sitting next to Merle is the station's good friend and our good friend, Bobbie Casalino-Lewis. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yay. I forgot what I put on Facebook, but you what is it? Fashion motivator.
Yeah, fashion and style motivator. I basically help people get dressed that want to be seen. So,
I like that new logo. I like your new website. I like your picture. It looks
thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, when did you change it? The website looks stunning. When did that
It's
go
not
up?
done yet. It's not done yet. I did. I'm working with a coach, and I did a video. So the video is yet to come. So you'll see that. And then I also did another photo shoot to add other professional pictures into my website and all of my social media. So watch the next coming months. It's going to keep evolving.
All right, you got to come up closer to your mic or we can't hear you.
It's going to keep evolving. So
Good. Now can you hear the difference? You can hear
Yes.
your voice?
yes,
Because you have very important things to say, and I want the audience to hear you.
my little quips, huh?
Yeah, I mean, my voice is loud, so you guys have to talk loud, too, so the audience can hear you.
Okie dokie.
I mean, you're trained from Toastmasters. You know.
Yes, I am. And I'm also, as it happens, co-chair of the Speakers Bureau from District 1. So I have gotten, isn't that the first place I met you? Was it Speakers
No, it was on my
Bureau?
show. Oh, I
On the
introduced
show, and
you.
then yes, Alayna connected us. I
Ah.
went to your event, introduced myself to you, and
Yeah.
then we I think did a show together.
Yes.
So this is our
yes.
third show together.
Well, you guys are a good pair.
Yes, yes.
Because you're both passionate about what you do, and it's completely kind of different industries, but they overlap.
And there's a lot of dovetailing.
There's a lot of dovetailing. Like you talk about relationships in the work area, and you talk about dressing for success, and those do happen to go hand in hand.
Relationship goes through everything, and so does
Stay in
dress.
front of your
Sure it
stay in
does.
front of your mic.
Yes,
Sure it does.
yes. So, and actually, how you dress influences how you feel, and how you feel influences how you behave, and how you behave influences your relationships. So there's
Yeah.
no question that there's an overlap.
There's definitely, because if you walk out of the house going, wow, I look really good today, your whole day is better. Or if you put on something inappropriate and it's like, I'm just too lazy to change, I'm just going to go. You're just like, all day you're worried about how you look. And that just takes up so much energy.
Right. Well, and it starts with the relationship that you have with yourself. I mean, when I
Yes.
start with clients, it's always
Yes.
determining, helping them to find what their personal style is. Because the days, I'll guarantee you, the days you walk out of the house uncomfortable with what you're wearing is because you are not dressing for your personal style. So if you're a romantic and you've got on something that's very classic and straight and, not flowing and ruffled or patterned or the right colors, you're not going to feel comfortable because it's not the right fit for you.
I don't do plaids. I like plaids, but I don't feel comfortable wearing plaids.
There you go. Well, some things are meant to be looked at and some are meant to be worn.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Oh, one of the things I liked on your new website is if it takes you too long in the morning or takes you too long to get dressed.
well, typically, there have been statistics that bear it out that particularly women, but most of us spend 20 minutes a day of our lives. Okay, so over the long haul, 20 minutes a day getting dressed.
That's
or
not,
deciding what to wear
okay.
as part of it.
That's not including makeup.
No, that's just the selection process.
I don't. That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, you average it out. I mean, certain special occasions and things like that
Right.
take longer. But just basically rifling around in our closet for that appropriate, comfortable look, outfit. And there's ways to streamline that so that it makes it easier for you. So if you don't have the time, the talent, or the interest to put the outfits together for you, there are people like me that will help you do it.
What if you end up changing like 10 times? What does that mean?
That's you're chewing up the clock. You're skewing the odds. You're definitely skewing the odds on that one. And there's definitely a bit of indecision going on there.
But certain certain days are different, and certain times you put something on, and it just, you had in your mind something different from the way it actually looked, or you still love the top, but it just doesn't go with the pants that you absolutely are going to wear. So I mean, stuff like that happens.
Oh, all the time. Except, like during the week when I'm training and I just wear black leggings,
Right.
Then I don't have to worry. I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. I try to wear print leggings, but I just don't feel comfortable in them.
Interesting.
And there's some really cute ones out there.
Sure.
And I see people at the gym or whatever, and they look adorable. I put them on, and I'm like, okay, back to my black.
So it's like what you say. It's how you feel comfortable, because we are different. And I think one of the things we have to learn and trust in ourselves before we deal with anybody else is dealing with ourselves and having the courage just to be who we are. I was just listening today while I was putting on my makeup to a CD from somebody that does interviews, and he did an interview with a guy that wrote a book called Zoomanity. And this is a Brit. I think he's originally Scottish. And he did many different things, including he has been a hairdresser, like, for a long time. And so recently his mother was visiting him and said, hey, whatever his name was, Bill, can you just fix my hair a little bit? And he said, Mom, why would you ask a plumber to do an electrician's job? Why are you asking me? I'm a writer. She says, oh, you're just a hairdresser. And a lot of people in our lives come into our lives where we're at a particular point and leave us there because maybe they stay there. So it's important to be aware of who you are, separate from those other people that have an opinion of you based on their own particular needs of how they want to see you, different from who you really are, and can have some. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, and you evolve as well. I mean, look at, you're married going on 50 years.
Yes.
The
tomorrow.
Yeah.
The actual day.
The people that both of you were and the way you interacted when you first met, the first 20 years, the next 20 years, and the next 10, there's a
there
evolution.
Are differences.
There's an evolution.
Yes.
And, retooling ourselves to make those changes and those shifts is really important. So that permeates everything.
Yes. And it all comes back to when you're really annoyed, and whenever I'm annoyed, I'm focused on him, right? So then I pull myself back and say, well, what about me? What do I want? How do I feel? And I get, how can I say this? More understanding of him. I don't get angry at him because I'm meeting my own needs. I'm either saying, no, I don't want to do this. Excuse me, goodbye. I mean, I'm going out right now. Or I'll work with him. But you really have to be conscious. I think we all have to be conscious on who we are and what we want in each moment. And if we feel that we get that a lot of the time, then we have the charity, the generosity to give to the other people in our life.
That's true. I mean, you and Nathan, you talk things out all the time. I mean, I'm at your house a lot because of the training, or we're walking and he'll say something that's so off the wall. And you turn around and say something so funny back to him that all we all do is that we're rolling on the ground just laughing because it was so funny. I mean, you turn everything into humor, which is
Magic.
So amazing.
That's the magic, to change anger into humor.
You do that like this.
Yeah.
How do you, because my husband is jokes a lot.
Oh, okay.
So how do you
Get
how
him
do you-
serious?
I know that, we'll deal with that. But but the difference between humor, or at least what I see as humor, because we're two communication different,
Different.
very very different.
Right,
We're like
right.
in the disc, we're like this,
Right. Right.
diametrically opposed. But how do you manage the difference between humor and juvenile?
That's a tough question.
No, it's not.
It's
really.
not.
Juvenile is a judgment.
See, I've been told I need to remove judgment from my life. So juvenile. So I see it as juvenile.
Yes.
The other person thinks it's funny.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did that help?
Yes. Because it's that word, that J word came up again. That's been coming up a lot in my life lately. As in, ixnay, obsnay, get it out of here, eh?
Right. Right. There's times I'll like rhyming words, or I'll say stuff. I say it out loud, really, it amuses me.
Trust me, working out with her. Oh my God, we're counting 1, 2, 3. She's counting 10, 12, 13. I mean, and then
You get there.
Yeah.
You get there.
We're
I mean, and then we're in the middle of doing something, and she starts singing at the top of her lungs. It's so funny.
She's been around a long time. You can tell if that comes out, because I usually hold that back.
Do you? So we won't get a little taste today then?
No, but
that's
it is. I mean, she's so funny. She keeps everything laughable and light, unless something really goes totally crazy.
ticks me off.
Yeah, which takes a lot.
Yes, it does. But I have the same passion for that as I do for everything else.
Yeah, I've been there for that too. But then they have this cat Cha-Cha that no matter how mad you are, she'll come in and just scream at the top of her lungs.
And you
laugh.
have animals.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they change the attitude totally.
Right. They change the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I have
And
two very large animals who are very vocal.
aha. Well, that may cause more tension than
Oh, you think?
release. Oh. So why do you have two large dogs that are vocal? He likes them.
Well, you make mistakes in life.
That's one you could fix.
3 years ago, I made the mistake. So
You could fix that. And
yeah, we are. We're going for more training.
yes. Yeah. I never realized when I was younger. I mean, I don't know if I was talking. I don't know who I was talking with just recently about over the period of your life. Like if you're old enough to be married 50 years, so you've been around for a while, and I'm here. I'm present. I'm not one of those people. Oh, remember the good old days. I remember the good old. I could care less about the good old days. I'm right here, but it's probably a good idea to be able to remember enough to make to appreciate how much I've grown. And sometimes it's very hard to make note of that, to see this is how I used to really believe this. And a long time ago, I had no idea that they trained animals. I mean, that real people that just, went to work and came home, had a pet, and then took them to training. I never heard of that till I came to L.A. La la. And it's a good idea.
Oh yeah, we've done quite a bit of training with them, and they are really good dogs. But they're 3 years old now, and they need fine tuning. And they're brothers, and they're German shepherds, so they have certain inherent characteristics that that we need to deal with. And the reason we went for training is because they are big dogs.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't, they're not junkyard dogs. You
No.
know, you need to be able to take them out and be social and have
Right.
people over the house and
Right.
and what have you. So we're going to go to the advanced training. We've been working with. I'll put a plug in for them. Canines only.
Sure.
They're terrific. And Brent, who's the general manager there, has been our trainer, and he loves our dogs. He's really trained us to train them, you know, which is really what it's all about.
Yeah, it
and
is.
And it's interesting. You know, it's interesting. And you know, we live in times now where to be able to go to sleep at night and leave your windows open, you know, I mean, having a couple dogs around like we have, that gives us some peace of mind.
Right. Well, we have a friend, or I have a friend, Hillary, that has big Great Danes. And I think she started out with them because, as a matter of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I remember that story.
Yeah, but she shows them, and they're humongous. But so I went with her. She shows them, and I went with her, and I held the one dog while she was doing something, right, on a leash. And the dog decided it just wanted to go to the left, to the right, wherever the heck it wanted to go. It went. I mean, I did not have the physical strength to hold that dog back. So
Nor the commands.
training. Yeah, very clearly. I can absolutely see. And having watched that show, what's the dog trainer? What is his the dog whisperer?
Yeah. Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero. No, not
Yes,
Cesar
Cesar,
Romero. Boy, does that show your age. Whoa, I didn't say that. Caesar, whatever.
What is his name?
I don't know.
I just,
It's Caesar.
Yeah.
Just go by Caesar.
and
Dog whisperer.
but I think that people learn about themselves, and I'd love to go to all those people that have really been trained where it really makes a significant difference, and say maybe like a year or two later, say, what else has changed in your life?
That would be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, I think, and I love what you said before about not looking in the rearview mirror and being
Right.
present and going forward,
Right.
and but do remembering enough so that you can kind of pull it through, and you have a comparison. The danger, I think, for a lot of us, and I try not to fall into it, but I know I do, is when I go back and I look and I pull those things through, I become critical. I become critical of how I did, but I think you raise a really great perspective, is that pull it through, look at where you were and look at where you are and celebrate where you are and don't criticize where you were. So I think that's a really good, that and dropping judgment are my two takeaways already for today. So, okay, I can go now.
No, you can't. We still got a whole show to do. We haven't even gotten into.
I can't wait I want to go use them.
Well, you can after the show. After 1:30, you can go use them for the rest of your life.
And she will.
And she will.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's get down to business.
Okay.
Oh, instead of all this monkey stuff.
No, we'll go
Right.
back to this because this is really important.
Cracking the relationship
Yeah,
code.
talk about your new book.
Okay. The key to happy relationships at work and at home. So I really divided it into 3 sections. The first section is things to know before you get married, and things to know before you get divorced, and things to know before you quit your job. Because I find it kind of interesting. These are 3 big decisions that we make in our lives. And yet, how many of us make those decisions in the heat of emotion and anger and frustration, and like you're just highly wired all over the place. Your hair's standing on end. You're so wired because you're so angry. You're so frustrated. And how many people have said, now I know what he's really like. Now I know. But the truth of the matter is that's the time when you really don't know. All you know is you're angry. Oftentimes, you're angry with yourself. You're frustrated that you didn't accomplish whatever it was. If you want to make a good decision about this person in terms of getting in, getting gone, or either at work or at home, however it is, you really need to be in a state of calm, ease. How do you do that? I mean, if you're really good at it, you can just calm yourself down. But I think what we need to do is to put our attention away from the negative and the anger and all that to the positive. Like, okay, well, we now know what we don't like. So chalk it up. That's a good experiment. We're scientists. Now let's figure out, what is it we do like? What is it we do want? And, put whoever annoys you, whether it's at work or at home, put them on the shelf. They'll be there. They're usually, if they're not, so much the better. But they'll be there. And just focus on yourself. Okay, here I am. Okay, calm down. All right. Well, what do I want? I don't know what I want. I never thought about it. I'm so busy doing this. I don't know what I want. Well, make a list. I don't know what to write on the list. Okay. Here's the thing. Just think of anything, whatever comes into your mind, and start with that. That's exactly what I did at year 20, when I was ready to move on and say goodbye, Nate. See you later. I just I didn't even make a list because I had no idea what I wanted. I was raising a kid. I didn't think about what I wanted. I didn't think about what I wanted by myself. I didn't think about what I wanted as me. I thought about what I wanted as a family, those kinds of things. But, what do I want? Oh, wow. And I had no idea. So one of the things was I was working as a financial planner, and I had trouble with certain kinds of businessmen that were really pushy. I lacked the confidence to say back to them, sorry, but you're wrong. So I had heard about Toastmasters, and I thought, well, that would be good. And I called up about it, and I got some good, very nice lady, Cheryl. That's her name, Cheryl Myers. Hi, Cheryl. And I didn't have the nerve to go to a meeting, to a club meeting. I got a friend. I said, hey, you want to go to Toastmasters? I had to get somebody to go with me. And so that was one thing, and that was me. And I did something, and Nathan wasn't there. He didn't have his funny things to say. It was just me. People responded to me. I loved it. It was fabulous.
And how many years are you there now?
Oh, my God. It's like over 25 years. So I did learn things. One of the things I learned at Toastmasters that helped me in my marriage, fabulous. I highly recommend this. A Toastmaster meeting, for those that don't know, it's a communication and leadership organization, and you get up in front of a class, in front of a group, and you speak. So it's people that do that really are willing to go through hell in order to get something that they feel good about. But anyway, it's divided into 3 parts, and one of the parts of the meeting is to evaluate the speech that somebody just gave. And here's how you evaluate a speech. You say something they did well, something they could improve upon, and you summarize. But you never start out, and this is a good song to do it over, you never start out with, you dummy, or how could you do this, or you really annoyed me, I didn't like your subject matter. You never say anything like that. You just deal with who they are and how they, where they are, can improve. All right.
That's perfect. And this is a perfect time to take a break.
Yes, it is.
So when we come back, I think I'm going to put Bobbie back on the mic and we'll talk about what's coming up for fall trends, some tips about how you can update your wardrobe from last year without spending a lot, because you always know how to do that. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Alayna's Lifestyles and More on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
Where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Want to enrich in your radio listening? Do it now with the new WDC radio show, LA Talk Live's new talk, rock radio show, Saturdays 4 p.m. Pacific, filled with news, talk, sports, entertainment, and more. Tune in as we fill your weekend with rock and funk from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. WDC Radio Show. Listen as we kick off the new generation of radio with talk, rock, and funk. The all-new WDC Radio Show, Saturdays 4 p.m. Pacific on LA Talk Live.
We're calling you out.
Sickle cell warriors, leaders, doctors, and caregivers.
This is the call.
Tune in to The Call, Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, only on LA Talk Live.
This is the call.
To sickle cell trait awareness.
This is the call.
To acceptance of yourself and others around you.
This is the call.
To finding your purpose through creativity.
This is the call.
To living above sickle cell.
This is the call to unity in community.
So call in 323-473-3100 to
The Call.
Saturdays 5 p.m. Pacific, only on LA Talk Live.
This is the call.
Hi, I'm Del Lady Jones, and I'm a certified relationship and divorce coach.
And I'm Debbie Carlin Boyle, a certified personal trainer, fitness instructor, and health coach.
Join us on Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Pacific, for Del and Debbie's Mind, Body, Soul, and everything in between, exclusively on LA Talk Live.
Become part of the conversation with expert guests discussing life-changing topics such as relationships, divorce, longevity, parenting challenges, dating, intimacy, and so much more.
We would love to hear your opinions and questions, either on our Facebook page or by calling us directly at 323-473-3100. We are Del and Debbie's Mind, Body, Soul, and everything in between. Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Pacific on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B and now live on Facebook, or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. And now on our YouTube channel, Del and Debbie Mind, Body, Soul. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
Welcome back to Alayna's Lifestyles and More. All right, Bobbie, it's your turn on the mic. You always come in. I always usually have you come in September to talk about fall fashion.
And then usually
and for spring.
Later in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you always know what's going on and you're able to talk about it with such ease.
Oh,
that I love having you come
well,
on.
I really love it. I have a real relationship with style. So it's just innate. So I really found my passion after 40 years in a man's world, real man's world, only woman in the room for a long time, corporate corporate positions, which I loved until I didn't love it anymore. But I always relied on my style, whether it was my personality style or it was my dress style or my communication style, whatever it was. I really relied on style a lot in dealing with the disequilibrium, I guess you call it, of being the only woman in a room, and a lot of times most of the people in the room even speaking another language. So it was...
what did you do?
International telecommunications. So I was on Wall Street for about 14 years and ran a very large project management department, believe it or not, of all females, 23 of them, and we installed trading rooms.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So we worked with the Local 3 union in New York City, which is bigger, stronger, and more influential than actually the Teamsters. So it was interesting, and there were no women in Local 3. And so that was always an interesting dynamic. So we'd be on job sites, and things would go on. And, and I had walkouts, and they'd be on the street, and they go, there's a skid of bricks up there with your name on it. I go, yeah, and guess what? There's a dumpster down the street that has my name on it, too. Trump, I mean, no, not Trump as in the person Trump, but Trump as in cards. I trumped you, yeah. They never bothered me again after that. And it really was my ex-husband's related family's dumpster, and it was really a block long. So I go, there's plenty of room for all of you. So style is something that's I've always found very important because, and especially even dealing on Wall Street, a lot of the banks that in the bygone World Trade Centers, my team actually installed all the trading rooms in all of those, Cantor Fitzgerald down and up and all sideways. But a lot of Japanese banks were there, and very different culturally, very different business-wise, and our communications. And we would have job site meetings every week. And when you walk in the door, you are sized up.
Right.
30 seconds less. 30 seconds or less. So how you presented yourself was extremely important. And, I don't care that people say, I don't care what they say about, you only get one chance to make a first impression, period. And we're visual creatures. It goes back to us being hunter-gatherers. Okay, you had to know if that critter outside the cave was going to hunt you or gather you, I mean, whether it was going to kill you, eat you, or let you go. So we're very visual, and we size things up very visually. It's instinctual. It's in our DNA. It's something that'll never, probably ever go away. Who knows? But so that is something that we just do. Whether we register it or not, we do it. And so it's really important to know that. And if you are going to be in a position that you want to be or need to be influential, whether it's walking in to meet a prospective employer or walking in to meet a new family member, or a prospective family member, it's very important that you portray, yourself in a way that will be receptive, and for at least the way you want to be received, because it's just that important. So carrying style forward. So after a 40-year career, very successful internationally and very happy, and a lot of challenges and a lot of technical. I started out with teletype. When speeds were 42 baud, which most people don't even know what a baud is even more, and all the way up to introducing internet. I mean, actually introducing the concept of internet. So, try to explain that to a crowd. But there is no here, there is no there. But, now look where we are. But so it was very interesting until it wasn't interesting anymore. And then it flatlined, just kind of stayed where it is. And it's very commoditized now, and everything's in the apps, right?
Right.
So not the transmission and not the technology itself. So, so transitioning out of that, and I had that long talk with myself. What do I want? And the question I asked myself was the question I used to ask for people when I was interviewing them for positions. I said, what lights you up?
Right.
What makes you happy? Seriously, what makes you happy? What would get you out of bed every single morning for the rest of your life to do? What lights you up? And I looked back over my life and I thought, well, a couple things light me up. One is helping other people. Big on helping other people feel good about themselves. And I was a walking glamour magazine do's and don'ts kind of gal. I mean, I was registering everybody I looked. Oh, don't on the shoes, or do on the shoes, but don't on the rest, or So I was always kind of putting pieces together. Always had a great eye for color, and texture. So it was just kind of instinctive for me. So I decided to marry and create a relationship between my wanting to help people, because I have a social work background, wanting to help people with helping them also look good. And so it was kind of birthed the whole idea of being a motivator rather than a stylist, because a stylist kind of, by definition, tells you what to do. A motivator encourages you to do what you do.
When I was in financial planning, and I would go to small business people, they taught us to, if you go into a big or office building, so you dress all dressed up, and then if they otherwise. If their tie is loose, you loose their tie. If it's off, and all that. That is absolutely not true for women. I found the more blue collar the business was, the more dressed up I had to be. Because if I were as relaxed as them, they would just flirt with me, and they wouldn't take me seriously as an expert. So those were the people I absolutely had to be dressed corporately with. So it's interesting. What was interesting was that they, unbeknownst to themselves, are giving me the wrong advice as a woman. What was true for a man was not true for a woman. Did you find similar kinds of...
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember wearing the suits with the white shirt with the bow tie, the whole Brooks Brothers look, until I started loosening it up. And actually, when I started to loosen up, I was sent to a speaking class, and in New York, and I forget the name of the company, but it was 3 days, and I saw myself. They videoed us. Yeah. So I saw myself on camera the first day, and I saw what I was wearing, and I saw how I looked, and I was like, oh my God. And I went home that night, and I got so many things out of my closet, right? And then I went back the next day, and I dressed more with what I felt was more comfortable for me.
Right.
And my whole projection was different. Changed. Well, I'm sure you can verify that with Toastmasters, but my whole comfort level and my whole expression level changed. But seeing how I looked, and I was like, oh my God, that is drab. That's drab. Stop dressing to conform and start dressing to conform with who you are.
That's it.
All right, so what's happening for fall?
Yeah. Fall is a free-for-all. I love it. We're having a blast. It's a bit of retro, a whole bit of London influence. So that whole Sgt. Pepper, twiggy, pointy shoes, patent leather, mixed patterns. There's a couple colors I'll highlight that are big for fall, and some of us can actually dip back into some of our wardrobes that we've maybe stashed for a while, and haul out a few pieces. But it's honestly it's a real
lot
free
of
for all.
jeans.
Tons denim has it's denim. Okay, denim is, honestly, because there's skirts, there's jumpsuits, there's denim on denim, so a denim shirt with denim pants. Obviously, nothing is for everyone, but there are degrees. But denim is huge, and high-waisted. So for those of us that have, that situation below the belly button and above the pelvic bone, that little area, we all have one to a greater or lesser degree, but they've actually, for women, they have lifted some of those things off the hip line so that it's not a natural created muffin top, no matter what size you are. They've lifted that up so that it's a suitable height. So they're calling them highs and straights. So that going with a straight leg and lifting that waistband up, it's transformational in how people look, by just lifting it up a little bit. So it doesn't go all the way to granny jeans or mom jeans. It doesn't go all the way to the waist like the old-fashioned ones that were tight in the waist and then curved around the hips, although you'll see that on a lot of the runways. But the high straight is really a great look, and it's comfortable.
And they're even making them in leggings.
They're extending.
They're extending the waist. It says high waist.
They're extending the rise.
Or long waist.
They're extending the rise, and also a lot of companies have gone to supplementing their sizing with a regular size. So your regular size with a curvy. So a curvy is one that gives a little bit more release through the hips and thighs and comes up just a little bit higher and goes in a little bit. Because typically, if you need release in the hips and thighs, your waist is going to be smaller. So it's not you don't need that width in the waist that you do to ease out in the thighs. Plus the fabrication of the denims and the fabrics and the panties and the knits and the things that they are just splendid. They feel great. They have a lot of stretch and give in them, but they also recover, which is really nice. So you don't have saggy knees and that kind of stuff. So polyester has gone to a whole new level, and there's different sheens to them. But when you touch something like this and you go,
I love that feeling.
And then you put it on, you go, So whether you go out, to the top floor of a building, restaurant, or you sleep in it, you can have the same experience with the same garment. I mean, these clothes the fabrics are just incredible. So yes, denim is huge. Denim jackets, denim shirts, denim skirts, denim crops, and the distressed look is not going away. Love it or hate it, it's just not leaving us. So they are moving some of the placement of the distressing around so that it won't get too exasperated. So not right on the knee, so maybe above the knee.
They're doing that just to make you buy something else.
Well, and but you can go to YouTube and you can distress your own stuff too. But once you do distress your own stuff, you will realize why they charge so much money, because it takes time. And you have to kind of go in there with a pin, and pull each one apart. And the things that are stone washed are really thrown in big tumblers with stones. Boulders sometimes, just really, really rough them up to get them to that condition. And also the bottoms, you saw this summer and spring all over the place, and that's not going away either. It's just these uneven hems, just kind of that beachcomber look, which is really kind of fun.
I think so.
It's very fun. I like it. And I cut off a couple of pairs of jeans myself and just, played with it. I looked at them and I go, oh, okay, so it goes up a little bit in the front and down a little bit in the back. Okay, I got this. I can sacrifice a pair of jeans for that.
And also skirts are getting longer.
Skirts, there are long skirts. I think it's one of the things also, it's a free-for-all. There's every length. You can go from a micro mini to a knee topper to a straight sheath. Pencil skirt that hits below the knee or mid-knee, whichever is a good length for you. And then, yes, definitely down to the floor. But the down to the floor ones seem to have nice big slits or wraps or something that'll show a little leg. Because then the other fun thing is tights are back. I saw a big discussion online recently about pantyhose. And I'm like, look, if you have uneven skin tone, pantyhose have never left your life. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just happy that they're making them again and that they're a little bit easier to find and maybe affordable. But tights are really fun because they're always a great way to add a little spice. They're printed or textured or colors or patterned. They're really fun. And socks.
Socks are big.
Socks are really big. And wearing a different sock on each foot, different patterns.
I haven't seen
or
that.
Putting, like we used to, put one inside the other.
Okay.
Right, and have maybe a stripe and then stars or something, just showing different things. So it really is a free-for-all. And because London has always been such a fashion center, it's very confident dressing. And even in the middle of winter, you'll see people in London wearing very strong color. I mean, there's obviously the very Savile Row crowd, but London with Piccadilly and some of the other things that have gone on, the whole Sgt. Pepper, the whole rock band and band influences, there's a lot of that influence. So I would say the 2 to 3 biggest colors, and Pantone. The Pantone decides the color, so it's not always a miracle as to what it is. But the 3 major colors that I see for fall is a color very similar to this called hibiscus, which is a corally red-orange. So it sits in the middle. which happens to be very complexion friendly for most palettes, which is a really good option. And I think that's really great about the three major colors this fall are they're all, in my estimation, friendly to just about every complexion, which is nice because it's not too cool, it's not too warm. They've kind of played it up the middle. So there's a beautiful hunter green that has a lot of blue in it, which is beautiful. So it's not that dark hunter, not like, the spruce color, fir tree color, but it's a softer hunter. And then the third color is a wine, but not a Merlot, not a Cabernet. I know it's a wine, and it's a beautiful purpley blue with nice undertones. So I've never been able to wear burgundy because it has too much brown in it, and some of the other colors for other people have too much blue in it. But this one, I think, is just kind of straight up the middle, and all three of them are beautiful accents with each other if you want to get playful, or do a column of color, which is always elegant, or, swap and switch them because the wine plays beautifully with the hunter. Right. And it's a really nice combination. And then you get one or two pieces of these new colors, throw them back with whatever you already have. And, you'll be surprised. I always take a garment, and I run it through the closet like this, just looking at all the different pieces and just see what pops. Because I always tell people it doesn't have to match. It just needs to go. And color blocking, this is a great season for color blocking because color blocking is when you wear two opposing colors. I like to use the reference of like a navy blue and chartreuse. They don't match, but they color block beautifully because they play off of each other so well, and they reflect off of each other. Just like maybe, and white and black obviously will be a color block with just about anything. But it's a fun season to be creative and adventurous.
What about accessories?
Accessories. Well,
scarves are still in.
Scarves are very big, and using scarves as the way we used to, the double tie around the neck, running it through the belt loops of your pants or your jeans.
That's back.
Definitely. Double wrapping it, triple wrapping around your wrist, tying it. Doing kind of a headband thing, or a hair, depending on how your hair is, and maybe do that Gina Lola Brigida thing where the two ends come out over on the side. Big scarves, little scarves, shawl scarves, which are all really, really fun. So, yeah, scarves are a big point. And also shoes. Shoes and boots and shooties and, pointy toes. Pointy toes are great. Shoe boots, so you get all different heights. You can get them that hit below the ankle bone. You can hit them so they above the ankle bone. And then they have like these ones that are like a sock. So the top of the boot is like a sock. So you can get as funky or as formal as you want. And then boots, of course, go just keep going up the leg from there. And combat boots. Combat boots.
I see combat boots everywhere.
They're being gussied up. They've got,
I just saw pink sparkle.
Yeah. It's amazing. They're just being gussied up all over the place. So, but they are black combat boots is really what their anchor is, and then they embellish them.
I saw in a magazine yesterday red boots, like cowboy boots, and it was a kind of dressy dress.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I think there's some great oppositions that really work well together, and that's so fun. I also put that in the category of wearing prints and prints because that's confident dressing.
Yes.
That's confident dressing. You are confident that looks good, and I think that's wonderful because just because you're not doing exactly matchy doesn't mean that it doesn't look good, and doesn't mean that it isn't confident. So confident dressing is, I think, really important. And that's when you're really sure about what looks good on you and how you feel about what you're wearing.
Actually,
it is fun because I love a dressy black dress with a denim jacket. I mean, how fun is that?
Yes.
It really is. It's just, I think a denim jacket works with everything.
But there's so many different lengths now of denim jackets.
Right, and that's great because depending on what our scale is, do you have a short waist? Do you have a long waist? Do you have long legs? Are you tall? Are you short? Are you heavy? I mean, what's going to work the best on you? So you have lots and lots to choose from. So you're not locked in. So I think it's really fun now and also a lot of androgynous dressing is also becoming crossover. Women wearing men's suiting again.
That was always my favorite.
It's fun. The Annie Hall look.
I love that look.
That is definitely
I saw that
back.
coming. I mean, different, but back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I always love that look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. I do too. So a lot of fun stuff. Accessory-wise, I think it's also a very play on vintage. So I'm always a favor of heavy wrists. My wrists aren't that heavy today because I don't want to make too much noise here with the microphones. But I'm always in favor of a heavy wrist and also pushing up your sleeve because this is the narrowest part of your arm. So you really want to show that off.
Yeah, wait a second.
There you go. And also by elevating off of your wrist, you actually look taller and you look thinner. So I always do it when I'm just dressing people. I'll leave one sleeve down and I'll do a cuff or do something on the other one and they go, oh my God, what a difference. Because the one like this is elevated, so the whole look comes up and, it straightens you out. And the other one kind of almost looks like you have more gorilla arms and you're leaning over and it's weighing you down instead of, giving you buoyancy. So just little tips.
However, I can't, it's terribly uncomfortable for me to have bracelets.
Yeah.
Come up to your mic.
It's terribly uncomfortable for
But
bracelets.
you're wearing a statement watch. Look at the size of that.
Yeah.
Well, she gets her emails on her watch.
It's
functional. I know, but the point
Yeah.
is that it's statement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So a heavy wrist doesn't have to mean that it's multiple pieces.
Okay.
Heavy wrist can just be one big statement piece. And once again,
Okay,
what works
people.
for you? Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You use your watch a lot.
I do. I actually look at it.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I
mean, she gets all excited when she gets her 10,000 steps in.
Right.
I know.
And you really, that watch has kept you on track, I have to say.
It tells you every hour, you're supposed to do 250 steps every hour. And at 10 of the hour, it'll make a little dingy.
Yeah, like, hello.
Yes. Oh, God, 150 left. So
quick, up and down the steps a few times?
She does, yeah.
Sometimes I said, forget it, I'm busy. But I do.
I've been resistant, but maybe I should think about it.
I can't find one small enough. That's been the problem.
That's how I got this. I wanted the thinner ones, but I wanted one that took my pulse, and they were thinner, but they were stiff across so much that it was wider than my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't rely on it to stay up here. It'll fall down.
You're not near your mic.
I am right now.
Okay.
I have to sit up.
She's back.
Speak.
There you go.
Yeah, there I go.
Because I can't hear you.
Yes, so this is the smallest I could get.
And I tried hers on and it was still too big.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got tiny wrists.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually have small wrists as well, but that I think it's cool. I mean, just think. We were talking about 42 baud, right? The transmission speed. So just think,
how far we've come.
The technology that we carry around on our wrist.
Oh,
it's just amazing.
And more coming.
Sure.
Wow.
It's just we've come so far.
Yes, and people that say, "Oh, I have a friend, an old friend from a long time ago, who doesn't do email, and lives in Florida." So we don't talk.
You have to at least do email. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to just continue our conversation about relationships, fashion, how it goes hand in hand. So we're just going to have fun the last half hour.
God bless.
So stay tuned, everybody. This is Alayna's Lifestyles and More on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez.
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on latalklive.com. Inspirational radio
with a touch of recovery.
A reality show where nothing is left unsaid
and no one is insignificant who says it.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
To dream really do come true.
Welcome back to Alayna's Lifestyles and More. We were having this great discussion during the break, so I want to bring it out into the open. Bobbie, you started off because you're the one that put it forward.
Yeah, I was looking at Merle's hair, and I said, it's so wonderful. And she said, oh, wait, it's going to get better because it's going to be purple again for this weekend for her anniversary party. And I said, I bet you, because your hair is so hip, it makes you very approachable by multi-generations. And she said, you're right, it does.
I love that. People, strangers, come up to me. Now, I used to, when I first did it, I used to get some older women that looked at me with disdain, like, how dare you? But not so much anymore.
Are you sure it wasn't envy?
Well, whatever their issue was.
It was their issue.
Clearly. But now I haven't gotten that. And people will come up to me, I wish I could do that. Oh, I'm going to do that. I really love your hair. And what I like is when the kids, when they're 20, and they said, great hair. And so that's, you hit it right on the head. It's multi-generational.
Yeah, it does. It makes you approachable. You want to be approachable. I've helped a lot of people in dressing to be more approachable in whatever their lifestyle is. A lot of teachers, believe it or not, needed to, especially if they're teaching middle school, high school, they didn't need to get down and dirty and dress like the kids, but they definitely needed to dress so that those kids could better relate to them. Because they aren't going to come to you. And color plays a lot. Color, as we all know, plays a huge part in whether we're approachable, whether we seem empathetic. There's a lot, because if you play off your nature's palette, which is your hair color, whatever hair color, whatever it is,
who knows,
your eye color and your skin tone, and actually your lips, because we all have different color lips. So that's our red usually, our pink, our red. If you play off of those colors and you wear those colors, you will immediately, you can do an experiment. You can wear colors that aren't in your palette, and people aren't necessarily attracted to you. And for some reason, when you wear colors that are your palette, because that cadet blue is my color, so I have those glasses and I wear a lot of that cadet blue, people just, I don't know why I'm talking to you, but I came up and talked to you. Because because it's my eye color, and it just kind of eases them in. It's like makes you approachable and makes people want to come and talk to you.
You know what I've noticed too about me is, since I've been back wearing glasses, since I've had this eye condition, I've had more people approach me and smile, especially when I wear my vintage cat eyes. It's
because they're fun.
Yeah, I get so many more people. Even at the gym, when they didn't know, if they've seen me there, they'll come up and say, "Hey, I like your glasses," or you know, or just smile. Or before they just walk by. But ever since I've been back in glasses again, after I don't know 50 years not in glasses, I've gotten much more approachable to people. It was very strange to me.
Well, it's a further
now
extension.
I'm fine. I'm thrilled, but that change took a while to get used to.
Yeah. Well, it's a further extension of your personality. It's a very visible extension of your personality.
So how
people can read it?
How do you mix that with a corporate look? If you like, I would like to speak in corporate situations.
Well, it depends on the company. You have to do some research because all corporations are not the same now.
Right.
Right. So you've got your Yahoo, Googles, Apples of the world that are completely, and your SpaceX, they're completely different dress code and completely different, approachability. Believe it or not, as nonconformist as they are, they're very conforming in the way they dress to each other. They're
conforming, not formal.
Right. Conforming.
Yes.
Yeah. They're conforming to a certain dress code, and they've made life very easy for themselves. I mean, if you look at the way Steve Jobs dressed, the way that Mark Zuckerberg dresses, he has a closet full of jeans and white shirts,
right?
Or a closet full of jeans, and because he didn't want to use any of his brain power to decide what to wear,
right?
But needed to get dressed in clean clothes every day, so they do that. So I think it would have been much easier to do a sort of a boilerplate stamp back in the 70s and 80s, but now you really have to research the company and then figure out what's that slot in there. But it's very important with eyeglasses, if that's what we're talking about, that they
we're just talking about dressing
in general.
Yeah, but whatever it is needs to really suit you. It really needs to suit you, and if it suits you and the colors make you approachable and trustworthy and confident, and people read that, that's what really counts. Because I could go into any corporation. I would feel comfortable going to any corporation. I don't care how formal or informal, wearing these glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Because they suit me.
Yes, they do.
Right? And so do my blue glasses, and so do my gray-black ones. They suit me. But it depends on how you feel that day, what you're wearing it with, and you have to mirror.
Does it depend on kind of what you would be speaking about?
It depends. I really think I would give. That's the only wishy-washy answer I think I'll give today. It kind of depends. I mean, when I came and spoke at the Toastmasters, I had no idea. I'd never been to one in that location before, so I didn't know what the audience would be. So I tried to dress in a way that would be appealing, but not too far off one side or the other. So kind of up the middle, but with enough interest so that I could point to certain things as it related to my talk about using a pop of color, using scale and dimension, and using texture and weight.
Okay. We gotta say something.
Yeah, somebody say something. We have dead air here.
Well, let's hear a little bit more about your cracking the relationship code. I'm really interested.
And when is it going to be available?
Oh my gosh, you asked me really important questions. So I called my editor.
All right, into the mic.
I called my editor, and actually I emailed him, and I said, so? And he said, well, I can give you the cover, which you see right here. Well, I had this exact same cover, but it had a heart on it. And I didn't want the heart on it because I'm talking about relationships at home and at work. So there are more relationships that we have in our life than just romantic relationships. And I wanted it to cover all of that. So he sent me that, and I asked him for some stuff that I have to put out in emails, and you have to start a campaign, and you have to market yourself, this kind of thing. So he said, I can't send you that because the electricity is out. he's like in Georgia or somewhere. And so I said, it didn't even occur to me that he was having those kind of issues. So I said, oh, excuse me, I'll forgive you this time. I didn't say that. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. It's at the editors. He said it should take 2 weeks. So I'm thinking like just about by the end of the month. But at this point, I'm only promising this year. I know for sure it's going to be this year. And then if you're really interested, tell me you're interested and send something to info@relationshipmiracleworker.com. info@relationshipmiracleworker.com. I'll get you on the list, and you will hear when it's out. And when I release my first edition, I'm going to have a downloadable copy for 99 cents. So you can pay 99 cents, but buy it on that day, because I want everybody to buy on the same day and get a bestseller, an Amazon bestseller. That'll be really fun.
It will be, and be exciting.
Yeah, yes. So
because you've worked really hard on this book.
I have worked hard. And do you know, this will tell you about me. I said to he's the editor, publisher, whatever he is, I said, okay, you can tell me if it's really terrible. I mean, if it just can't be fixed. But, he ignores me.
No,
so I'm sending it to the editor.
So it'll be out soon.
Yes. It's a very, very soon. And I love the idea. I really do like breaking it into the different segments, because they're the major portions of... It's not that we don't have relationships at other ways, but these are the ones that really can create high emotion for us. And I just think it's important for people not to value high emotion as a proof of truth. It's not a proof of truth. It's a proof of high emotion. And when we get, I mean, it's just like you said, if you're out to buy something or other and it's a big product, the money is significant. So you say, well, let me think about it for a minute. Let me, and sometimes you say, let me talk to my partner, my spouse, or what. It's not really that you want to talk to them, or maybe you do, but sometimes you just want to let me calm down. Let me not be so excited, and let me see if then I still want it. And that's true in relationships. So let me tell you what to do before you get divorced. So here I was. I already told you that around year 19 or something, I was really ready to cash in my chips and say goodbye, Nathan. And I made that list, and I couldn't even think of, I don't know what I want. I just went to Toastmasters because I couldn't think of. The only other thing I thought of that I could do would be to do like an airplane parachute jump. And I said, no, I'm not ready for that. I don't have to do the first thing I think of. I just have to do the first thing I think of that I'll do. And so that's how I joined Toastmasters. And then and when that was successful, then I started having a list. Okay, next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to be on a certain committee at my synagogue. And I was not active at all. I called the rabbi up. He didn't know me from a bag of beans. And I said, well, I want to be on this committee. And he said, what did you say your name was? And he was really cautious. And I said, when is the next meeting of this committee? And he said, I'm not sure. I said, well, could you look on your calendar and let me know when you think it's going to be? And he gave me, well, I think it's going to be Tuesday at 7 o'clock or whatever it was. And I just showed up. And then I became the head of that committee. And then I became president of the board. So I was feeling good about myself. I was doing things for me. And it felt wonderful. I was getting good feedback. So I would come home to this guy and I'd say, "Hi, honey, how are you?" Because I forgot I was mad at him. I was feeling so good. And I want to tell you, he looked at me like I was from Mars. Who is this? And when he looked at me like that, that was heart-wrenching to me, because then I knew how grouchy I had been being. So that whatever was going on in here, I was having some ownership in it. That really, that was a ding, 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 ding. I heard that. So it's like wearing dark glasses. I go to the farmer's market. I wear dark glasses. If I want to look at the produce, I have to take my glasses off because the lenses are too dark for me to see the real color. So it's like going through your life with dark glasses on. And I just doing things for myself gave me an opportunity to take off those glasses and just see how things were without all that anger and stuff. And it's extraordinary. It truly changed. Well, it clearly changed my life because I would have been out of there.
And now, tomorrow, you'll be married 50 years.
And trust me, I don't know how I did it. But it's taking, if you get enough focus and do the things that you enjoy in your life and have fulfillment from, like teaching swimming, dealing with children, whatever your thing is, if you have that, it gives you enough good feeling to let it spill over. And it spills over to the people all around you. Not just Nathan, but everybody else in my life gets benefit of me when I'm feeling better. And when I'm not, they get the wrath of Merle. And I'd much rather, present in a fun way. I just enjoy being happy more than I enjoy being unhappy. And that's I think what's the most powerful thing about relationships is you can actually change. I have a friend, this is really important for changing how you are at work. She worked, she did something in real estate. She worked in an office with a lot of people in this room that she really liked. And she had to go through another room to get to the kitchen. She had to get to the kitchen so she could have some coffee. So that other room, the only thing she did was walk through it to the kitchen. And they were so grouchy in there that it was a downer for her in her life. And so she went through the door to this next room and she said, "Hi, Mary," to the person at the first desk. And Mary, and she went and got her coffee and came back out. And the next day, "Hi, Mary." And over a period of time, not only Mary smiled at her, but so did the people in the next desk and the next desk. And she actually changed the environment in that entire room. Just one person. I think that's an enormously powerful thing to know that you can do.
Very true.
Yeah. So I had just somebody just recently that I had her do that, and she did it. She's a nurse, and so she works at the office with a lot of nurses, a lot of whatever, and she said, "Okay, I'm going to try a version of this," and there's this one person in her place that she really didn't like. And she started noticing nice things and saying, "Oh, that's a nice dress." Oh, no, well, not a nice dress, whatever. It's a nice watch. What is a nice shoe? Whatever the heck it was. She found something to say nice about this person whom she really didn't like. And over a period of time, what she found was not only is that person nicer to her, but that person is nicer, period. other people have made comments about this person changing, being nicer to the patients, being nicer to the doctors, being nicer to the other nurses. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett, actually, I heard her talk one time, and she was standing on the grocery line, and she was watching this cashier, checker, who was also doing the bagging, just ramming stuff into the bags, right? And she had eggs and a few other things, and she was like, what am I going to do? I don't want her to squash all my stuff in the bag. And she just watched her be surly and crass with everybody who came through the line. So when it came to be Carol's time to get checked out, she looked at her, and she made sure she had eye contact with her. She says, you have the most beautiful eyes I have ever seen. And she said the cashier just melted, because whatever had been going on for her that day, by complimenting her on something which was true and authentic, but by complimenting her on something, completely shifted her out of whatever it was that was, digging into her side.
Yep.
So it is very powerful.
Yep.
It's like the power of intention combined with fake it till you make it, just.
What's interesting is you cannot change anybody else, but you can change their environment. And people respond, the same person, we each respond differently to different environments. So you can't go with the intention of, I'm going to change this person, because that's not your job. Your job is to handle yourself. But if you go in to a situation changing the environment and being your authentic self, focusing on if you're seeing her negative part, then that's you. That's your vision seeing her negative part. Maybe it's time for you to start seeing part of her positive part. And that's exactly what she did. The woman is exactly the same. She still has the rough edges, but she had these nice things that hadn't been noticed before. So your vision is clearer. You're seeing a full person instead of just the grouchy part of it. And you've changed yourself. And in changing yourself, you've had this ripple effect in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's living in kindness.
Yes.
Right? Being kind.
That's so important, especially now.
With kindness and gratitude, you can go anywhere.
Yes.
Because people read that. And it could be just in a different language. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They read that.
I believe that.
And I think it goes back to our original, in the beginning when I was talking about, coming out of the cave and whether you're going to get eaten or, be friends. I think it's the same thing. I think that is part of our instincts.
Right.
That we haven't dumbed down to the point where they don't function anymore.
Pay attention to them.
Right.
More.
But really, a lot of times when somebody comes near you that's got very negative energy, you feel it in your gut.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Right? You feel it.
Yes.
You feel it coming. So,
yes.
You back away, you excuse yourself, do you whatever you have to do. But we do pick up on that.
Easy. Yeah.
But here's the thing. So if you're at work, you can't back up and turn around and go away. You have to confront that every day. So that's when the trick is, okay, I'm seeing this may be 99% of this picture, but it's not 100%. There is something good. There is the guy is wearing nice shoelaces. Whatever the heck it is, there is something that you can find that is a positive statement to this person about this person. And it's not just that he hears you, it's that you hear you. And that, without you even realizing it, you haven't just changed his perspective or how he is seeing the world. You've changed your own. That's
powerful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
That's where it all is.
Yeah, we have. I've adopted a few things that are I call relationship savers. I should have given them to you so you could put them in your book. Relationship savers. There's two that I use all the time, or I try to use all the time. And if things start getting heated, and in a conversation, and it's a difference of opinion, and it's not life-threatening, you're right. It's frustrating to the other person because they probably really want to have, I know a lot of times I go, don't do that. Don't pull that card. Don't pull that card. But you're right, because you can't argue with someone who agrees with you, right? You can't. And then the other one is so that you don't let things in.
Right.
If somebody's saying something to you that is a criticism or a comment or whatever it is, take a breath, look at them and say, thank you for sharing.
That always does it.
Or if it's particularly crass and it's something maybe at work, particularly crass, you know, I'm not sure I heard that all exactly right. Would you mind repeating that?
That's
give somebody a chance to think and rehear what they said, and 9 times out of 10 they won't say it again.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marissa Peer, there's a psychologist, a very well-known English psychologist named Marissa Peer, and she does great videos. You should take a look at her. But those are 2 of hers. Well, the thank you for sharing and the do you want to repeat it are hers. The other one, you're right, was kind of mine. Yeah.
Oh, I guess we can keep going. Richard walked out of the room.
Yeah.
No, I think we
but,
should.
But, you know, think about that, you know, especially in the work environment. You know.
I like the I didn't hear you. What was it you said?
Yeah. I'm not sure I heard that. I'm not sure I heard all that. Would you mind repeating it?
Wow, that is a really good one, because when you hear it again, or they can't remember what exactly they said,
or they hear it again, they say it again, they hear how vile it is.
Yeah.
You know, they'll back off. They'll go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day," or "I didn't mean to say that."
Yeah,
give them a chance. Give them a chance to backpedal.
Right.
I learned a lot this summer. I taught swimming lessons this summer, as I told you guys, private lessons. And believe it or not, I taught almost, or maybe even exceeding now, because I'm still getting referrals, 60 children, private lessons.
Awesome.
Ranging in age from 1.5 years to 17-year-olds. And now I think I'm going to help some adults as well, because swimming is a life skill. Swimming's up there with reading, riding a bicycle. I mean, it's definitely a life skill, especially if you live in, you know, I mean, there's water everywhere, but especially when you live on a coast.
Right.
And all these little kids, and dealing with all these little kids, and I only teach private lessons, and I only teach for 30 minutes.
That sounds good.
Set the intentions with each children. I say you have 2 hands, and I have 2 rules. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Nobody goes in the water when we don't look at each other. Okay. And the other one is you have to have fun. Can you remember those 2 rules? Yeah, they can remember. Even little ones can remember the 2 rules. So, but they taught me so much this summer about just being on an elevator, you know, just kind of getting to their level, finding where it is, what makes them happy, and asking them, what do you like about swimming? What don't you like about swimming? Let's do what you like to do. Because, you know, it's not going to be fun for them, which is one of my rules, if they're doing something that they don't want to do, or they're afraid to do, or they don't trust you enough yet, or they don't trust themselves enough yet. So make it fun, and I think it's anything in life. If you make it enough fun, then you can take them to any height and any level. And it's been really miraculous watching these kids discover this self-confidence and the excitement of, you know, going underwater and surviving, and, you know, swimming across the pool for the first time, or, you know, achieving a new accomplishment. It's been really eye-opening and encouraging.
Nice.
Yeah, very
All
nice.
right, before we close out the show, Merle, you give out your website and your final thoughts.
RelationshipMiracleWorker.com. If you want to reach me, you can through the website or info@RelationshipMiracleWorker.com. Look for Cracking the Relationship Code, key to happy relationships at work and at home. And my final thought is just be kind to yourself, and then you can be kind to everyone else.
Sorry. Bobbie, your website?
Hi, my website is InStyle by Bobbie, BOBBIE.com. And I can be reached through there. I have a Stay Connected button on each page of my website, as well as Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest.
You got it all.
You name it. Everything except Twitter, because I'm a visual kind of gal. But Instagram and Facebook, I can be found easily in Style by Bobbie as well. And my final thought has to be around what you wear. So fashion is what you wear. Style is how you wear it well.
That's great.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. Oh, thank you guys for such a good show. This was so informative. Now I know what to look forward to wear for fall, new little pieces.
Yeah.
And Merle, you're always amazing. And happy anniversary tomorrow, because I won't see you. Don't take your headphones off yet.
That's fabulous. 50 years. In January, it'll be 25 for us, so I'm halfway.
Wow, halfway.
Yeah, that's still big.
That's still really big.
That contract is renegotiated every year.
All right, everybody, let's say goodbye. Get outside, get some exercise. The stores are starting to get really cool stuff in, so take a walk through the stores to get ideas for your new fall wardrobe. All right, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.